My wife has been working from home for the past few months and often invites her ex over. This is unacceptable. I informed her. Is this the incorrect thing to do? I understand that the title may appear perplexing without the context that I am going to provide. So ever since COVID began, my wife has worked from home. My employer would never allow us to do so, so I had to drive to work every day. She's a pal with whom she socializes on occasion. He's previously been invited to hang out with both of us. He's kind, entertaining, and really cool. This has not been an issue for me. My wife told me a long time ago that she dated him in high school. They dated during their freshman and sophomore years, according to her. He had a girlfriend at the time, and she was seeing another person as well. She maintains that when they split up, there was no longer anything romantic between them. My wife stated that she would be able to work from home. I was relieved and delighted for her since I knew it would be simpler and even save petrol. She mentioned that her buddy would be able to work from home as well. So they may meet up sometimes to go over their work and help one another. They both work in a similar area. I got home one day and saw he was there. I didn't think much of it because my wife had informed me about it. They both had computers and appeared to working quite hard for a time. It was like that for a while. But a few weeks later, when I'd come home and they'd be hanging around and having fun. Sometimes they'd be playing a game. Sometimes they'd be drinking. And sometimes they'd be eating. This started to seem strange to me. He seemed to be getting more attention than I was, and she looked to be having a better time with him than I was. Then one day when I got home, it was the last straw. They were both sitting on the couch, her head in his lap, watching television. I waited until he was gone before speaking with her. I was enraged. I got angry with her, telling her that their actions were inappropriate and that she had no reason to spend time with such a buddy. I said how I thought she was paying more attention to him than her spouse, and that they looked to be having more fun together than we do, not to mention that they had previously dated and messed about. She became furious and claimed that I had no right to tell her who she should socialize with. She was furious that I implied she was cheating on me with him and vowed she was not and would not do so. She said that all they were doing was resting and that it was perfectly fine for her to rest her head on his lap. He hasn't been at home the previous 2 days when I arrived home. She claims she hasn't seen him since our conversation. I apologized for being so enraged. She doesn't appear to have accepted my apologies because she has been quite quiet around me ever since. How can I improve things? Is she deceiving me? How do I approach the situation between her and this friend? Her website. So I mentioned that my wife was spending time at her house with an old high school ex. Since COVID began, he had been coming over and working from home with her. I didn't think much of it at first because they were merely assisting each other with their tasks. They then began to hang out and do other things. I had enough when I saw her laying down with her head on his lap. I told her he couldn't come over anymore. She was enraged and took offense, but she consented. Most people here agreed with me that her actions were suspicious. I was informed that he may still come over throughout the day and leave before I arrived. I ended up purchasing a camera that I could set up and conceal while at work, one for the living room and one for the bedroom. Nothing out of the ordinary occurred on the first day they were set up. It happened on the second day. The ex arrived. They were just working at first, but then he became somewhat tactile with her. It got to the point where they got up and went into our bedroom, and they were intimate. I was taken aback. I had no idea what to do. When I saw my wife again, I asked her whether she had been seeing him any more than she required. I informed her that I had cameras put throughout the house. Her expression completely transformed. Then she realized what I had seen. She burst into tears right away. I told her she had to leave the house. She tried to explain and apologize, but I was having none of it. We haven't talked about it since. I once told her that I don't see anything other than a divorce happening. She stated that she does not want it and requested if I would go to couples therapy once before making that decision. In the end, I reluctantly agreed. I don't expect it to work out, and I'm doing this mostly to buy time. I'm looking for a divorce lawyer. Thank you for listening to the story to the end, and if you like it, please support us with a like as well as subscribe to our channel. Write in the comments what you think about the story.